Hi everyone, this is a quick video on how I would make my headers set up like this so that when the machine cuts, it cuts all the way around in one big box and then it just slices through and makes 10 individual headers. The problem is if you just make your headers the regular way, so you make a rectangle. Sorry, let's try that again. So if you just make a rectangle with the rectangle tool and then you make another one and you put it directly below it. The problem is that when your machine goes around it, what it's going to do is it's going to start up here and it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and make 4 cuts around, and then it's going to go into the second rectangle and make another 4 cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4. The problem is that it's then cut this line twice. So either it's cut all the way through your sticker paper, which you don't want, or if it's not super accurate, it may even slice like a little teeny tiny bit below where it already cut, and so you're going to get this little slither of paper that peels up and looks like it's shredding your page. So what you want is you want it to cut all the way around this one and then just once around here, and you want it to leave that line blank. There are a number of ways you can do it. This is my favorite way, so I'm just going to delete those. So what I do is I start with a box and I just draw a rectangle, any size, doesn't matter. And you click on the rectangle, you go up to here to your scale window, and you uncheck lock aspect because we don't want it to stay in this ratio, we want to make our own ratio. And then I know the headers are 3.8 centimeters wide, and I know that they're 0.6 of a centimeter tall, and I'm going to make 10, so I'm going to make it 6 centimeters tall. Apply. Then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to make a line. Holding the shift key makes it a straight line. And again, any size, because we're going to click on this and we're going to make it 3.8 centimeters again. Next, you go up to your replicate window, and I'm just going to do this under advanced options. You could just hit duplicate below 9 times, but I find it easier to do this. So duplicate below, we want 9 rectangles and we want them to be below. And then you click replicate. So now you've got 9 lines here. I know it just looks like one fat line, but there are actually 9 lines there. So next what you have to do is click on one line, hit the shift key, and click on a rectangle. Go to the align window and align to top. Now unselect everything. Click on your stack of lines again. Shift key and click the rectangle, and click align to bottom. So now what you've got is you've got one line at the top, one line at the bottom, and you should have 8 lines in the middle here. And these top 2 lines we're actually going to delete later, but we're just going to use them for spacing. So what you then do is click and drag and highlight your rectangle and your 10 lines, and then hit the shift key, select your rectangle and deselect it. So now you should only have your 10 lines selected. Again, under your align tool, go to space vertically, and you now have 10 rectangles. Now I then go back and highlight everything and click align center, which centers it in the middle. So make sure that those lines are perfectly centered with the edges of the box. Next we're going to go in and we're just going to delete that top line. Delete. So the way I do that is I select the box and that line. So you can see that there's 2 lines selected here, because see how this is a little bit off? This is like darker, and you can see that line's a little thicker. So then you click select shift and click on your rectangle again, and it deselects it, and now what you've got left is just your red line highlighted. So you click delete, and now what you have is 10 boxes. And what the silhouette's going to do is it's going to cut once all the way around the edge, one cut, and then it's going to go in and it's going to make 8 other cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you'll have 10 headers there. Now I then go and group these all together. Group. Now I made a word. Actually, I'll show you how I do this. Click on your text tool. We're going to write, let's write instead to do this time. That. Highlight it. I'm going to choose the font that I currently like. It's Max and Dust. I think it's really cute. I'm going to do it in, we're going to do line color white. We're going to do fill color white. We're also going to fill our rectangle in while we're here with the fill tool. Green. And you can resize this as it is, but once I've got the word made, I like to convert it to a path. Click convert to path. I like doing this because notice how the box is bigger than the word. It makes it really hard to space things evenly. So once you click convert to path, you can't edit the text. You can't go back in and change the text without having to, you have to make a new text box. But now when we click on our word, see how this box is perfectly around the edge? It makes it much easier to resize and much easier to space everything accurately. You'll also notice the center of the text, this like the center of the box is now aligned with the center of the text. So it makes it easy to align things to the middle. So we're going to make that smaller. We're going to roughly align this. I'm going to zoom in. Now I like using lines to space things. I think it's the easiest way to do it. So I click on the line tool, I make 2 lines down here. I've got to ungroup our rectangle though. Ungroup. We're going to align this. And once you know how to do this, it gets really easy. So you align this line to the top of the rectangle. You line up this line with that line. Just because it's easier to draw. Then we select both those lines and we select the word. And we go space vertically. And now that word is perfectly aligned in the center of this box. Then what you can do is select the box and click Align Center. And now the word is perfectly aligned horizontally and vertically within your boxes. I'm actually going to group these together. And we're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to align these to the bottom of the rectangle. We're going to click on the word and we're going to duplicate it. And we've already got 1, so we've got to duplicate it 9 times. 9 times below, and we're going to click replicate. And it only took once. 8 times. Replicate. Drag this one down to approximately where it is. Highlight those 2 lines that we're using for spacing. Click on the word. Click on the align tool and space vertically. Oh, you gotta make sure those lines are ungrouped. So this is what I mean. Even if the word's right at the bottom here, and you select the words and your 2 spacing lines, that's what I call them, and you click space vertically, this word then lines up perfectly in the center of those 2 lines, which means it's perfectly in the center of that box. Now that we've done that though, we can delete those lines because we don't need them anymore. They were just for spacing. The next thing I do is I go down here to my select by color. And when we select by line, and then we click white, I've just got to unselect this box because I got this filled with white stuff. But you select line and you select white. It just selects the shapes that are outlined in white. And in this case, it's only the words so far. Then we go up here and we go to align. And so this top word is perfectly aligned with the box. This bottom word is perfectly aligned with this box. And we just click space vertically. And all the rest fill in the boxes. Oh, and I made too many lines again. Oh, awkward, I only made 9 lines. Sorry. I only made 9 boxes this time. That's okay. We only wanted 9 anyway. That was a mistake. So sorry, you go again to select by color, select white, and as long as you've got the same amount of words as boxes, if you've got the top one aligned and the bottom one aligned, when you click space vertically, they should just fill in the boxes perfectly. To make sure everything's centered, I then select everything. I go up here to my align tool and I click align center. And now my words are all centered, my lines are all centered, my box is colored, it's only going to cut around each one once, and each word is perfectly aligned to each box. That's what I do. Then I group that together. I go to the offset tool. I offset everything with a corner. Oops. Relatively new computer. It's kind of a dodgy trackpad. So select, sorry, everything's grouped together. You offset. I'm going to go to corner, and I often make my offset 0.2 and apply. Offset. Sometimes this program has a mind of its own. Make the offset colored so we can see it. See what's going on here. Okay. Alright, so make the offset 0.08 and make it a square offset. I don't know what the program's doing. Make it any color you like. I like to make the border clear. For later it's a lot easier. And then I go to my fill. We're going to select the eyedropper and we're going to fill this in. The only reason I do that is so that if the silhouette cuts slightly to the left or slightly to the right or slightly up and down, then you're not going to get any white lines around it. Then when you go to your cut tools, the cut settings, I select advanced cut and I select kiss cut, only my red lines. So the offset that I just did that has the clear line, that would be this one. You could check that to cut too if you wanted to, but I don't want it to cut. The white lines are the text. We don't want that to cut out, so we unselect that. And we do want this red line to cut. It's going to cut all the way around, and then it's going to chop our headers. And if I'd made 10 of them, like I said I was going to, they'd be 0.6 centimeters each. Instead I made 9, so they're going to be a little bigger. But over here I did make 10. I hope that helps someone. I hope that makes sense. It's the way I do it. It might seem convoluted to some people, but I really like it because everything ends up perfectly aligned, everything's perfectly centered, everything's perfectly sized, and you can copy and paste this. You can fill it in whatever color you like. You can fill it in with pattern. You can make it as big as you like. You can quite quickly and easily do a whole page of headers. I hope it helps someone. Happy planning. Bye.